Hi there, my name is Rebecca Weaver. We are going to use the slope-intercept form of an equation of a line today. We're going to be finding the slope, the intercept, and we're going to be graphing. So let's get started. And when you find an equation in slope-intercept form, you can read the slope and intercept directly from the equation. It's my favorite way to look at an equation. If you tell me to graph something and it's sitting in this form, I'm super happy. Y equals mx plus b. If it's written like this, where you have a y all by himself on one side, and then you have an x over there on the other side with some other stuff, just smile and nod and go, yep, this is the easy way. Your m will be known as the slope, and the b is your y-intercept. You're going to be told to find the slope and the y-intercept of the following equation and then graph. So let's just say they give you something that looks like this. Y equals 3 over 5x plus 1. Notice that the 3/5 is in the m position. That will be your slope. If you look at the 1, he is in the b position. That's going to be your y-intercept. Now this is just something that somebody found that if it was in this form, this always works, and it's super cool. And if you remember it, then it makes it really easy to graph. If you don't remember it, that's okay. Just make the T-chart like we did last time, and you can just plot a bunch of points and still graph your line. But if you have this way, if you know it this way, then it will make it so much nicer. So y-intercept, what does that mean? Well, that means that's the place where it intercepts the y-axis. In other words, that's the point 0, 1. Nowhere on the x-axis, but on 1 on the y-axis. So let's make that point. Now my slope is 3/5. That means I need to rise 3. There we go with my little golden arrow there, and run 5. So I start from that point and I go up 3, and then I run 5. That's what the slope means. I'll put a dot there. Then I just draw a line. I have graphed it. Have a party right now. You're done. But let's just say we don't believe it and we want to check it. Well, here's our equation. We can make a little T-chart, just like I said. And here's our x and our y. Let's plug in a 0, see what happens. Just plug it into the equation there. 3/5 times 0 plus 1, that equals 1. Put it in our T-chart. I see that point on my graph. He's right there. He was our first point that we did. Let's pick another point. Pick one that's easy. What is 3/5 times 5? Well, the 5s are going to cancel, leaving you with just a 3. Then add 1 and you get a 4. So let's put that in our T-chart. And if I notice, bam, 5, 4. Those were the 2 points that I plotted. Super duper cool. All right, well, let's do another example. I have that y equals mx plus b up there really big for you so that you'll remember it. And we're going to be given a problem that says find the slope and the y-intercept of the following equation, then graph. So let's just do y equals negative 3x plus 6. Looking in the m position, I see a negative 3. Therefore, our slope is negative 3. Now that means that I go down 3 and run 1, because 3 is the same as 3 over 1. The y-intercept, the b, is a 6. This means I have the point 0, 6. Well, the first thing I'm going to do, plot that point. There she is. Then I'm going to use my slope and that point to go down 3. There we are. See the golden arrow? And run 1. After that, I'm going to draw a dot right there. Then connect the dots. You have now graphed negative 3x plus 6. It is that easy. So this is why I love y equals mx plus b, or the slope-intercept form. It is that easy. So let's do some points because we want to verify what we have and just see how it all relates to each other. If I have y equals negative 3x plus 6, make myself a T-chart with a little x and a y. If x is 0, plug that into that equation. Negative 3 times 0 plus 6 equals 6. Draw that dot. I already have it written up there. There it is. Very nice. Let's see if x is 1. Negative 3 times 1 plus 6 would be a 3. So let's go to 1 Let's put that 3 in that chart. 1, 3, I already have that dot. Let's just do one more point, just for good luck. If x is 2, what would y be? Then I would say that would be -3 times 2 plus 6, that's 0. That point is on that line too. Very nice. So let's look at another example. We're going to find the slope and the y-intercept of the following equation, then graph. If we have y equals 1/3 x minus 2. Oh my, find the slope, 1/3. Find the y-intercept, -2. That means I have the point 0, -2. Draw the dot. There it is. Then I will use that point to go up 1 and run 3. So there I'm going up 1, running 3. Pretty tight in there when you just go up 1, but there we did it. Draw a dot. Connect the dots. Bam! Let's go ahead and make our t-chart here with these numbers. Here's my x and y. If x is 0, that's my favorite. When I plug in that 0, I'm really graphing the y-intercept, aren't I? Or I'm plotting that y-intercept. So then what I'll need to do is plug a 0 in. I would just have 1/3 times 0, so that just kind of wipes out. So my answer would then be a -2. So plugging that in there. Whoops, you can tell what point I'm going to do next. Be a -2. Next, I'm going to put in the point 3. Then I'm going to do 1/3 times 3 minus 2. And then that will be 1/3 of 3 is 1, minus 2 is a -1. The reason that I am plugging in a 3 is because I want those 3's to cancel. I want a nice number in there. Then what I'm going to do is choose another point. I'll need to put my -1 up here, and then I'm going to choose another x value, say a 6, plug that in, and see what I get. 1/3 times 6 minus 2. Notice how 1/3 times 6 is a 2. I chose that 6 on purpose so that things would cancel, and then I just plug those values in, and I see that they are indeed on my graph, and that's just perfect. Let's do another one. So I'm going to need to find the slope and the y-intercept of the following equation, then graph. If y equals 4x, what's the slope? That's pretty easy. The slope is 4. So it's going to rise 4, run 1. What about the y-intercept? There's no number hanging out there. Well, you could pretend that there's a +0 out there, and then you would say that the y-intercept is 0. This is the point 0, 0. So I need to draw that dot. And here's our dot. All right, so now from this dot, we're going to rise 4, run 1. Draw another dot. Connect the dots. Line graphed. Let's just look at our t-chart, see what's happening here. And then we have, if x is 0, plug that into our equation. Y is 0. 4 times 0 is 0. If x is, let's say, 1, then 4 times 1 is 4. And then draw that dot. Oh, the dot's already drawn. If, let's say, x is -1, then y would be 4 times -1 is -4, be -4. Let's see, -1, 4. That's right there on that line as well. Beautiful job. All right, if you have any questions, be sure and email me. Thank you for listening and have a wonderful day.